Hi guys, it's Rob from Ultimate Diesel Tuning. Today I'm super excited to talk to you about the research we've done into custom dyno tuning the all-new Mazda BT-50, Isuzu D-Max and Isuzu MU-X. So what this means for you is we're now taking bookings for custom dyno tuning on these vehicles, and the gains in power and torque are super impressive. The famed 4JJ1 Isuzu engine found throughout the earlier model MU-X's and D-Max's, as well as the early model RC Colorados, is renowned for its durability, reliability and performance all in one. Isuzu's brand new next generation 4J engine is called the 4JJ3 and is found in all these new vehicles. They are still a 4-cylinder, single turbo 3-litre engine in the vehicle, but over the 4JJ1 motor there are some noticeable changes in drivability as well as power output. These improvements are to the engine block and the fuel injection system, plus there's a revised crankshaft, new lightweight alloy pistons and alloy cylinder head. As well as those, the intake is now forward facing, which is much better for airflow, plus the turbocharger has a revised rear exhaust wheel. So what this means for the engine is that it's got better response and less turbo lag. So this will be great, especially when you're towing your trailer up a big incline, as it's not going to struggle as much as the previous model. Even with this engine in standard form, you'll notice quite an improvement over the stock 4JJ1 engine if you had a previous model D-Max. The 4JJ3 is also going to maintain the torque much better as well with these enhancements. We've custom dyno tuned these cars behind me using the exact same procedures that we use with all our vehicles that you can find in our dynos and custom dyno tuning YouTube videos. If you haven't seen the video yet, it's very educational in our custom dyno tuning procedure and it's a must watch. So please make sure you check it out by clicking the link above, and we'll also put it in the description below so you can hit that as well. So let's get down to the fun part, get both these rigs into the dyno cell, run them up in standard form and then see what they're like after we custom dyno tune them. We've custom tuned both these vehicles to take into consideration doing towing as well as being used off-road. We're not trying to get maximum power out of both these cars, we want them safe and reliable. Both manufacturers, Mazda and Isuzu, claim 140 kilowatts of power and 450 newton-meters of torque. These figures are being generated at the flywheel at the engine. When we're doing the numbers that we talk about, it's actually at the tyres and the rear of the car on the chassis dyno. The numbers on the dyno graph will always usually be different to what you see on the glossy brochures that are marketing from the manufacturers, and this is due to the driveline loss. This is why when we take into consideration we're talking about dyno tuning, we always talk about the percentage gains, because dynos all read differently in the way of numbers. The tyres have an impact on that number. Whether it's an automatic or manual transmission has also another impact on the numbers that are being produced. So you've got to take all this into consideration, hence why you only refer to percent gains. I now want to show you how the D-Max went on the dyno, the before and after results. I also want to make mention, this is actually a manual D-Max as well. When the D-Max came in standard form, it had 94 kilowatts of power and 326 newton-meters of torque at the rear wheels. After we completed the custom dyno tune on the D-Max, it went to 121 kilowatts of power and 421 newton-meters of torque. Now this demonstrated a 29% gain in both peak power and torque for this vehicle, which will be very, very noticeable for the owner of this vehicle. What I'd like to make note is down low under 2000 RPM, it's got really impressive gains in torque. Okay, I've shown the results on the D-Max. Let's get this one off the dyno, put the BT on, and I'll talk you through that as well. I picked the BT-50 up from the Mazda dealership myself, and it only had 250 kilometers on the clock when we got it. This car is also an automatic. When we rolled the BT-50 on the dyno in standard form, it had 108 kilowatts of power and 426 newton-meters of torque. After we completed the custom dyno tune to it, it went to 135 kilowatts of power and 544 newton-meters of torque. This represented a 25% gain in peak power and 28% gain in torque. Just wanted to mention, this is a little bit different in the torque numbers because we do see a flare within the torque converter also, which changes those numbers early on in the rev range. So guys, I've been really excited to show you these two cars, the BT-50 and D-Max. We've been waiting a long time, we've had a heap of inquiries about them. We're now ready to custom dyno tune these cars for you. So what does this mean to you? If you're looking to get your car custom dyno tuned by us and you've got a BT-50 or D-Max, you're going to see over 25% gain in power and torque. And that's going to be so much of a game changer when it comes to towing, better throttle response, all-round drivability, and just a nicer car to drive every day. So if you own one of these rigs and want to find out more about getting a custom dyno tune or book it in, give us a call at Ultimate Diesel Tuning or drop into one of our performance centres in Brisbane, Gold Coast and Melbourne, and make sure you subscribe to Ultimate Diesel Tuning.